Hello, my name is Henry McNall, and today I'll be presenting about the evolution of hip-hop in America. In the 1970s, the most popular music composed by African Americans was R&B songs made in groups. These music groups became known as supergroups because of how popular they became. Many of these songs made by these supergroups still get sampled and played to this day. This shows the lasting influence these groups had on the rap game. Some of the most famous groups were Earth, Wind & Fire, the Spinners, the OJs, and the Jackson 5, which included future superstar Michael Jackson. This popular music that was coming out at the time definitely had an influence on the origination of hip-hop. It originated in the Bronx Borough, New York. It was born by groups of young people who would hang out in the park or on the street, and they would play music and just rhyme and flow over the beats. Hip-hop started to really come into its own when DJs introduced different production techniques where they would incorporate beat breaks and other synthesizing sounds that would give the beats a more electric sound. Rap music was officially brought into the spotlight in 1979 when New York-based rap trio, the Sugar Hill Gang, came out with their hit song, Rapper's Delight. This was the first ever rap song released, and it sold over 500,000 copies, and it made its way onto the Billboard Hot 100, making it into the top 40. People loved this song because of its upbeat nature, and it was treated a lot like dance music at the time. This would be important down the road as rap music evolves from dance music into so much more a few years later. Afrika Bambaataa is an American DJ who is also from the Bronx. He played a huge role in developing the genre and revolutionizing rap music as we know it. He is an ex-gang member who studied black culture and the philosophy of Malcolm X and other black nationalist leaders. He believed that rap music could be used to combat violence on the streets that young people partook in. He founded the youth organization at Adlai Stevenson High School, which enabled large numbers of teenagers who were interested in creating rap music to do so with like-minded individuals. This was very beneficial for the genre because it taught young people that rapping was a tool to deal with a struggling lifestyle, and it supported their creativity. The Message was a rap album that came out in 1984, and it had tremendous impact on the rap community to this day. This was the first rap album to focus on one main message, and it was meant to show what life was like for young African American kids in New York. This album was the first to make it to vinyl, and also changed the course of rap music away from just being dance music and headed towards a meaningful art that reflected the culture of a large group of people. This album helped diversify hip-hop and enabled artists to create music that sounded different from others. It showed a large influence from techno music, and it changed the way rap songs sounded. The use of new drum kits, especially the 808, and the focus on lyrical content of the songs made this album one of the most influential of all time. Most of the rapping I have discussed took place in New York. This makes sense as it was the birthplace of rap, and many people had connection to the music that made them want to engage in it even more. However, once rap started to evolve, it started to spread across the country. The next area to explode with rap music was Los Angeles, California. The rappers from California rapped a lot about their day-to-day lives, and a lot of this consisted of violence, drugs, and sex. This gave the music the title of gangsta rap, and gave the West Coast its own sound. Rap group NWA really pushed this style into the mainstream and gave it recognition across the country. Other rap icons like Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur also came out of the West Coast and helped to develop the sound of the West Coast even more. While Los Angeles rappers flourished, the East Coast still continued to shine as well. Artists like Notorious B.I.G., Nas, the Wu-Tang Clan, and Public Enemy continued to produce music to keep the East Coast as the capital of rap music. The drama started to break out between the East and West Coast, and this was when the competition between the two sides was born. While West Coast music was becoming very popular, the East Coast became commercialized at around the same time as the West Coast, with Jay-Z and 50 Cent. These rappers became national superstars, and many people loved what both sides had to offer. In addition to the explosion of artists from New York and California, rappers from other states started to make their way to the main stage as well. Lil Wayne from New Orleans created the southern style of rap and ushered in a new area of artists. Eminem, who came from Michigan, did the same from the Midwest. All of the rappers coming out of different cities pushed for a new era of rap where all sorts of different cultures started to make their own sounds. Once rappers started blowing up across the country, the music started to evolve so quickly and in so many different ways that it's hard to keep track of. Rappers from Atlanta, California, New York, Detroit, and numerous other locations all influenced each other's styles and ushered in the rap music that we know today. And here's my works cited. All of these sources really helped me out with this, and I definitely recommend that you check them out. Thank you.